If we're trying to substitute
for opiates,
and substitute for psych meds, you need daily regimen.
Taxes in California on our cannabis are exuberant. So it would force them to look to the illicit market if they didn't have access to the meds through our programming.
For more than a quarter century, cannabis has been a legally prescribed medicine in California, recommended by doctors to manage a wide range of conditions, from arthritis to seizures. But if you're sick and can't afford your medicine, good luck getting your insurance company to help foot the bill. Thanks to cannabis status as an illegal drug at the federal level, that's a non-starter. And until the passage of Senate Bill 34 in 2019, cannabis companies couldn't even donate product to those in need without paying a hefty sales tax. And now that that law has passed, San Francisco-based delivery company Ease has partnered with a handful of cannabis brands to get product into the hands of those who need it most. I'm Adam Shorn, and this is The Green Room. You launched this program, in the Ease Compassion program, in 2019.
Yes.
Because you saw a need with the large amount of taxes, even for product that was being donated.
Correct. I had the opportunity to work at Ease right at the dawn of adult use legalization, where many medical patients were being left behind with these new regulations. The tax was so great on the product that could be donated that it was unfeasible for folks to receive this medicine and for providers to provide it because it was too expensive.
Have you been delivering to patients in need since 2019?
Yes, absolutely. And the law passed in 2019 and was implemented in October of 2019 when Governor Newsom signed SB 34.
So as orders come in, we get them on the monitors here. We have 4 different territories that we serve. They come out right here. Those were both from our South Territory. Boom. And then it'll tell us what it is. We have an order with edibles and a vape, flower and a vape to keep everything together. I just put everything in a bucket. Purple limeade I've got right here, along with guava. And we scan just to make sure that I'm grabbing the correct items. And then I just try to keep them as closed as possible so everything stays in, and they're good to go.
Here we're packing a compassion order. We've come up with a system that creates a template receipt.
And then I'll simply print out 2 receipts, and it will tell me the quantity, the product, and which customers that it's going to. These are my, inventory for the compassion donation. So what I do is once I print this out, I make sure that the quantities are correct and then the company's correct, and then I'll go ahead and simply put it into this Ease Compassion donation bag.
Every product is also allocated not only in metric, but also physically has a sticker on it that says that it is donation and for medical use only.
How do you find the patients? And these are all, is the qualification that they all have to be medical, they need to have a medical cannabis card?
Correct, yes, they have to have a doctor's recommendation that states that they are a medical cannabis patient, or also have a state-issued MMID card. I partner directly with the compassion organizations such as This Is Jane Project, Weed for Warriors, and Operation EVAC. They identify patients that are eligible to receive, and they refer them to Ease Compassion to sign up, and I check that they have been verified by the organization that has referred them.
It really started about getting cannabis in the hands of veterans so they could make the decision to substitute cannabis for the opiates they take.
We are a nonprofit organization that sheds light, builds community, and uplifts the lives of women and non-binary trauma survivors.
We do it through a series of survivor-centered programming, and that includes things like the Compassionate Care. SB 34 allows us to provide access to cannabis that they otherwise would not be able to afford.
And they use this medicine to confront, manage, and heal from trauma. Now that trauma could be medical trauma, generational trauma, racial trauma, sexual trauma, etc.
For the veterans who are over drinking, we found that when cannabis was available, they drank less. So what we're seeing is where cannabis is available and accessible to our veteran community, we saw lower suicides, lower overdoses, lower domestic violence, because alcohol makes you mad, right? A lot of our vets. We're on the front lines. That's what our group's doing.
Every couple of months or so, I get a compassion delivery, and it's been really great and convenient.
Yeah.
What's happening with me is like I have a chronic condition.
Okay.
And this is, it looks like a a baby, but I'm one of those people that's pregnant but not with child. I have uterine fibroids.
Okay.
I had surgery. They were to remove them. Then they grew back. I lost my insurance, and you know, the healthcare system isn't the best in the States, so
right.
I was kind of left to my own devices, and then found out that cannabis shrinks tumors, and I just needed to find out if there was any truth to that. And it does.
How did you get connected with the Ease Compassion program? Was that through the This Is Jane project?
Through the This Is Jane, it was like a paper trail. So SB 34,
right.
the Compassionate Care Act, and I contacted Dear Cannabis, and then Dear Cannabis put me and This Is Jane project together, and then we were well suited.
Ease has a fantastic network of really great brands on our menu, and this is an opportunity for them to provide free medicine and also not incur a cost of having to destroy product. The legal cannabis market right now in California, folks are definitely overproducing for the season, and there is abundance of product that is not getting to shelves and sitting at distros with the time ticking on when it
like
expires.
The best buy date or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is an opportunity for us to help those brands mitigate the cost of actually, they have to destroy it. They have to pay for a waste management company to come pick it up and bring it to destroy it.
So not only do they lose the money, but then they have to pay for it to be taken care of. Okay.
So this is a win-win for everyone.
If you were trying to, you know, do this self-medication yourself, which obviously isn't covered by any insurance or anything, like what would be the cash outlay for what you receive every couple of months?
Yeah, it's impossible. It's like, it's incalculable. Like I need a gram of cannabis oil a day.
We started this and it was like, do we want to give one pre-roll out? And it's not, if we're trying to substitute
for opiates,
and substitute for psych meds, you need daily regimen.
Yeah.
And to give you an example, an eighth of flower is basically 3 joints.
Yep.
Okay. If you want to smoke that morning, afternoon, and evening for your medical regimen, that's about $40 an eighth after taxes. And that's not a high-end flower, right? That's like $40. 40 times 30 is $1,200.
Yeah.
Veterans make $3,000 tax-free if you're 100% disabled vet. So to medicate in the legal market, we would need to eat up 40% of our disposable income every month just to go into the dispensary to have 3 joints a day.
Either you're gonna live, you know, pay your rent, or you're gonna be able to afford meds at a shop. So, you know, it's like, how do I find where the sesh is at to go find the black market meds that aren't tested, you know what I'm saying? So I'm taking this big risk and gamble just so I can stay off of the opiate stuff, you know, because now people are dying off of fentanyl. You know, I was just fortunate enough to detox off of it, you know, years before that. So it's been a big lifesaver, and these drops have definitely been something that was much needed to the veteran communities,
Since inception, we've been able to supply over 100,000 units of compassionate product to patients across California, specifically in the Bay Area and LA, and excited to, you know, keep expanding that work.
We have helped over 100 Janes with access points to compassionate cannabis donations. We have also facilitated access points to low-cost medical recommendations, which is necessary to get the compassionate cannabis donations, to over 50 Janes.
Our Janes are desperate for access to this medication. They don't have expendable income, they don't have the opportunity to go out and really do this, and the taxes in California on our cannabis are exuberant. So it would force them to look to the illicit market if they didn't have access to the meds through our programming.
It's been a driving force for me to pay it forward to help other people that I know that are struggling and going through those type of things, to say, hey man, you can live a much better life. You can get out of the house. You won't, you know, have these suicidal thoughts. You'll be more tolerable to yourself, your family, and those around you if you just switch what it is that you use, you know what I'm saying, for your self-medicating.
How different is your quality of life through this program, regardless of whether anyone believes whether or not it's shrinking a tumor or there's medical, whatever, because I know there's going to be haters out there.
It's a world of difference. It's a world of difference. It's one thing to know that you're healing, and then to add on to feel that you're healing, and then to have test results that actually show that everything that you're feeling is actually happening.